The all-electric Rivian R1T and also the Ford F-150 Lightning are both in production and officially being delivered to customers. But if you're in the market for an electric truck, which truck is actually better? Stick around as I do a very detailed comparison between the Rivian R1T and the Ford F-150 Lightning and determine which truck is actually better. I'm John, and welcome to Cleanerwatt. While the Rivian R1T and the Ford F-150 Lightning do share quite a bit of similar features, at the end of the day they're actually quite different trucks. For example, while the Rivian R1T could make an excellent work truck, in all reality it's really designed to be an outdoor adventure vehicle. On the flip side, the Ford F-150 Lightning could be used as an outdoor adventure vehicle. However, in all reality it would make a better work truck. So in this video, after I briefly talk about the exterior and interior styling of these trucks, I'm going to go over these 7 metrics and compare the Ford F-150 to the Rivian R1T to see which truck is better in each one of these categories. First of all, when it comes to exterior appearance, cosmetically the exterior of the F-150 Lightning looks very similar to the standard internal combustion engine F-150s, but it features a patterned faux front grille and also distinctive front and rear light bars plus the Lightning badging. These small but noticeable design changes to the traditional F-150 do make the Lightning look better than the traditional internal combustion engine version in my opinion, and overall it is a good looking truck. The Rivian R1T, on the other hand, provides a fresh take on the truck shape. Rivian didn't completely redefine the truck like Tesla is trying to do with the Cybertruck, but when it comes to exterior style, the unique oval front lights, the sweeping rear light bar, plus the curvy side profile really set this truck apart from the competition. Now beyond just style, when it comes to the size of these trucks, the Rivian R1T is not quite as large as the Ford F-150 Lightning, which is a full-size truck. As you can see on this chart, the F-150 Lightning is longer, wider, taller, and has a longer wheelbase. However, the Rivian R1T does have a higher max ground clearance. When it comes to an interior style comparison between these trucks, both of these trucks are equipped with quite a bit of interior tech and features, which we'll talk about more later on in the video. However, the Rivian R1T interior design is quite a bit more modern and clean, whereas the Lightning interior looks a lot more like traditional F-150 trucks. So with that being said, let's dive into the 7 key metrics that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, starting with purchase cost. The F-150 Lightning does have a much lower starting price, somewhere around $40,000 for the bare bones Pro model. However, the more fully featured Lariat and Platinum top trim levels of the Ford F-150 Lightning, which in all reality are a little bit better of a comparison to the Rivian R1T. When you look at those prices are actually quite comparable to the Rivian R1T. However, nonetheless, even though when you look at a more apples-to-apples comparison, the pricing is similar, the fact remains that the F-150 Lightning does have a lower starting cost, so for the purchase cost category, the Ford F-150 Lightning gets the win. Now moving to the next category, I want to talk about which of these trucks seems like it would make a better work truck. Now when it comes to a work truck, I believe one of the first things that we need to talk about is the rear bed of the truck. How do these trucks compare when it comes to the capabilities and the features built into the rear beds and really the dimensions of the rear beds? The Ford F-150 Lightning truck with the rear tailgate up has around 67.1 inches of length at the floor. The width between the wheel wells is just a bit under 51 inches and its height is just a bit over 21 inches. However, as you can see in this image, when you flip the tailgate down, this does allow you to put a 4x8 sheet of plywood with only a little bit of overhang. For comparison, the Rivian R1T rear bed with the tailgate up has just a bit over 54 inches of length at the floor. The width between the wheel wells is just a bit over 50 inches, and its height with the tonneau cover closed is around 17 inches, or with the tonneau cover open is around 18.3 inches. However, one of the unique features about the rear tailgate of the Rivian R1T is that it features gooseneck hinges which add an extra extension when the tailgate is down. Thus, with the tailgate down, you have almost 84 inches of floor space, and this would still be enough room to hold a 4-foot by 8-foot piece of plywood with only about a 1-foot overhang. So really to summarize this, yes, the F-150 Lightning does have a longer and slightly wider and slightly taller rear bed. However, the Rivian R1T's rear bed has been designed to maximize its space, and in everyday functionality, it's really not too far behind the F-150 Lightning. We'll talk more about some features that are built into the rear bed of these trucks, but I want to stick with storage space just for a second, and I want to move over to the front trunks of each of these trucks. For instance, the Rivian R1T has a very large 11.1 cubic foot front trunk, and the Ford F-150 Lightning has an even larger 14.1 cubic foot front trunk. So when it comes to front trunks, the Ford F-150 does have a larger trunk, and I like the fact that they have a very low pass-through design, so it's easier to get things in the front trunk of the F-150 Lightning as well. Now before we move on past the front trunks, I just want to give a little perspective about how large these front trunks are. Because a 14 cubic foot, just a bit over 14 cubic foot front trunk built into the F-150 Lightning, that's nearly as big as many cars' trunks. For instance, without the rear seats folded down, the Chevrolet Bolt EUV has around a 16.3 cubic foot rear trunk. And the Tesla Model 3, for instance, once again with the rear seats not folded down, it has around a 19.8 cubic foot rear trunk. The large front trunks in these two trucks would make a great place to store tools securely, and especially with the Ford F-150 Lightning's front trunk with this lower pass-through design, this would allow you to use this front trunk as more of a work surface at the job site. Now while the Rivian R1T's front trunk may not have that lower pass-through design, and it may be slightly smaller than the Ford F-150 Lightning, the Rivian R1T does have a unique feature that the F-150 Lightning does not have, and that's the gear tunnel. The gear tunnel of the Rivian R1T provides an additional 11.7 cubic foot of cargo space and is great for long, skinny items. In addition, the gear tunnel door flips down and doubles as a step. The Rivian R1T also has another storage trick up its sleeve, and it has a storage area under the bed, which can either fit a spare tire if you choose to purchase that spare tire option at time of purchase, or you can opt not to get the spare tire and use this place for extra storage. It is important to note that you can also equip the F-150 Lightning with an add-on which adds a little bit of storage under the rear seats of the truck, and the Rivian R1T also has a built-in standard feature and allows for a little bit of storage in a little compartment under the rear seats as well. Now beyond just the ability to store tools and equipment and such, as we've talked about, which would make great features for a work truck, when it comes to some other work truck features built into, for instance, the Rivian R1T, the Rivian R1T does feature two 120 volt outlets in the rear bed, one 120 volt outlet in the center console of the truck, and two 120 volt outlets in the front trunk. And it's important to note that the combined max power of these outlets is around 5.76 kilowatts according to the Fastlane truck. One of my favorite features built into the back of the Rivian R1T bed is the fact that it has a built-in air compressor with a 20-foot hose, and it goes up to a max 150 psi. When it comes to some of these extra work features that are built into the F-150 Lightning, the back of the F-150 Lightning tailgate has built-in rulers to measure both in inches and centimeters. It also has built-in clamping slots on the back of this tailgate. You can also pay extra for an optional pull-out step which retracts into the tailgate, making it a lot easier to get into the back of the bed. And when it comes to onboard power and the AC outlets built into this truck, the Pro and the XLT models come standard with a 2.4 kilowatt Pro Power onboard system, which includes two 120 volt outlets in the cab, two 120 volt outlets in the bed, and four of these 120 volt outlets in the front trunk. Ford does offer, however, an upgraded 9.6 kilowatt Pro Power onboard system, which is an optional upgrade for the lower trim levels, but comes standard on the Lariat and limited trim levels. In addition to the higher output, this particular upgrade also includes extra outlets in the truck. For instance, instead of the two 120 volt outlets in the rear bed of the truck, you get a total of four 120 volt outlets with this system, plus Ford adds an additional 240 volt outlet as well. It's also important to note that Ford has included a USB-A and also a USB-C port in the front trunk of the Ford F-150 Lightning, which is great for charging your mobile devices. So to summarize and compare side by side the onboard power systems of these trucks, here's a chart which summarizes side by side the onboard power capabilities of the Rivian R1T versus the F-150 Lightning. I do want to mention, although this is not necessarily directly work related, the F-150 Lightning does have vehicle to home and vehicle to vehicle capabilities if you purchase extra equipment. On the flip side, the Rivian R1T does not currently have vehicle to home or vehicle to vehicle capabilities. However, Rivian in their Q4 2021 investors presentation said that vehicle to vehicle and vehicle to home bi-directional charging functionality is coming and is currently in development. Another important feature for a work truck is its ability to tow a trailer. For the Ford F-150, if you want to be able to tow the maximum amount, you need to purchase the max trailering package, which is an additional $825 or so, which adds cooling hardware for the battery and motors. Also, if you plan to do quite a bit of towing with the F-150 Lightning, it would probably be smart to go ahead and add the tow technology package, which adds a number of smart towing features as well. When it comes to payload and towing capabilities of these trucks, the Rivian R1T should be able to have a payload up to 1,760 pounds, and depending on which variant you use, with a braked trailer, it should be able to tow up to 11,000 pounds. On the flip side, the F-150 Lightning does have a greater payload, at least when it comes to the standard range version, which has a payload capability of up to 2,235 pounds. And when it comes to towing, the standard range F-150 Lightning is able to tow up to 7.7 thousand pounds, and the extended range version is able to tow up to 10,000 pounds. Once again, the actual payload capabilities and the towing capabilities will vary in these trucks based on your exact configuration, battery size, which packages you buy, etc. But at the end of the day, the F-150 Lightning in many cases will have a greater payload capacity than the Rivian R1T. But when it comes to max abilities, it appears like the Rivian R1T may be able to slightly tow just a little more weight. Now, when it comes to smart trailering features, the F-150 Lightning, if you purchase the extra package, which is currently being sold for around $1,950, you get a number of smart trailering features, including a smart hitch and an onboard payload scale. When it comes to the Rivian R1T, it doesn't have as many smart assistance features when it comes to towing as the F-150, but it does have a nice rear back camera which helps align your trailer. And unlike the F-150 Lightning, the Rivian R1T does have an air suspension system which can help level out the load with less squatting of the truck under load. And the Rivian R1T in tow mode does have a trailer brake gain control system and a trailer brake override. So when it comes to our key metrics, when it comes to which of these electric trucks would make a better work truck, although the Rivian R1T would make a very great work truck, as we mentioned, it has a lot of great features that would be useful at the work site. The Ford F-150 Lightning does edge out the Rivian R1T, and in my opinion, it would make a better work truck. So when it comes to the work truck category, I gave that win to the Ford F-150 Lightning. Now let's move over to which of these electric trucks would make a better outdoor adventure vehicle. One of the first things that I think about when I think about an adventure truck is its off-road capabilities. And when it comes to ground clearance, approach angle, departure angle, and breakover angle, which help measure the off-roading capabilities of a truck, the Rivian R1T clearly outshines the F-150 Lightning. Now obviously there's a lot more than just off-roading capabilities when it comes to what makes a truck a good adventure truck, and I'd like to talk about some of those other features now, starting with the Rivian R1T. One of my favorite features built into the Rivian R1T is what they refer to as the gear guard system. On their website, Rivian says, quote, "The adventure package adds functionality to the bed by including our gear guard remote monitoring system and security cables. This gear guard system is very similar to Tesla's Sentry mode, but it adds locking security cables that fit into special locking slots in the back of the bed, and these cables automatically lock when the vehicle is locked. Like Tesla's Sentry mode, which utilizes the cameras around the vehicle to watch over your vehicle when that system is set, Rivian's gear guard system uses 5 cameras to watch over your vehicle and provides mobile alerts if this system is triggered. It also has a built-in alarm, and just like Tesla's Sentry Mode, you can use a USB drive, stick that into the center console port, and save video clips to that USB drive. This gear guard system and the locking cable system would come in really handy if you need to go out on an outdoor adventure, but you have some gear that you need to lock down. And I believe that's a great feature for someone who wants to go on an outdoor adventure, because likely you'll have a little bit of equipment with you. In addition, if you want to keep some extra gear secure in the back of the vehicle, Rivian does offer two locking tonneau cover options. The manual tonneau cover option costs an additional $1,800, and the powered tonneau cover costs an additional $3,000. Another great feature for outdoor adventures is the fact that Rivian built in a very easily detachable and attachable cargo crossbar system, which attach to either the cabin roof or the truck bed in the various slots that are built into the truck. And there are also a number of other attachments that you can connect to these particular crossbars, which allow you to connect all kinds of outdoor things like bikes and boats, etc. So already you can see that the Rivian R1T would make a great outdoor adventure vehicle, but it gets even better because Rivian offers an additional upgrade that you can add. It's called the Rivian Camp Kitchen, and right now for an additional $6,750, you can purchase a portable kitchen that slides out of the gear tunnel, which includes an induction cooktop, a sink with a 4-gallon water storage tank and pump, countertop space, and storage compartments for various dishes and cooking utensils. Rivian also offers a 3-person tent for an additional $3,100 that connects to the back of the bed of the truck. Now obviously you can buy some different racking systems for the Ford F-150 Lightning and carry various pieces of equipment and outdoor adventure gear. And you can purchase tonneau cover options for the back of the F-150 Lightning as well. And apparently there are tent options available for the Ford F-150 as shown in this picture from Ford. However, when it comes to which of these electric trucks makes a better outdoor adventure vehicle, I believe it's clear that the Rivian R1T clearly gets the win in this category. Now let's move to the next category, and that's passenger and cargo room. Both of these trucks come standard with 4 doors and seating for 5 passengers. However, when it comes to how much room is actually available for your passengers inside these trucks, as you can see on this chart, in every category except front headroom, the F-150 Lightning does offer more room over the Rivian R1T. When it comes to total cargo space, I'm not going to go through all the various categories that we did earlier when we talked about the work truck category. However, Ford has mentioned that officially the rear bed of the truck has enough space for 52.8 cubic feet of cargo, and we know that the front trunk of the F-150 Lightning is around 14.1 cubic feet, so the total storage is going to be over 67 cubic feet for the F-150 Lightning. Rivian has not provided an official number for the storage capacity of the rear bed. However, if you add everything together, all the storage together, including areas like the under bed storage that we mentioned, the little storage cubby under the rear seats, even the center console, etc., with the front trunk and the rear bed, when you add that all together, the R1T offers a bit over 62 cubic feet of cargo space. So when it comes to a passenger and cargo room comparison between these two trucks, clearly the F-150 is the winner here because it has more cargo room, total cargo room, and more passenger room overall. Now let's move to the next category, which is range and efficiency. According to the EPA, the standard range pack of the Ford F-150 Lightning is enough to provide around 230 miles of range, whereas the extended range pack for the Ford F-150 Lightning offers up to 320 miles of EPA rated range. When it comes to the Rivian R1T, you can currently configure that truck with 3 different battery choice options. The standard range pack, which offers, according to Rivian, somewhere around 260 miles of range. The large pack, which offers somewhere around 314 miles of range. And the max pack, which offers somewhere greater than 400 miles of range. So although the lower 2 battery choices for the Rivian R1T are very similar to the Ford F-150 Lightning's range estimates, when it comes to that larger pack, that clearly gives the Rivian R1T a range advantage with their estimated over 400 miles of EPA rated range with that pack. Now when it comes to an efficiency comparison, I do want to note that these numbers that I'm going to talk about are comparing a dual motor all-wheel drive F-150 to a quad motor all-wheel drive Rivian R1T. Rivian has not yet delivered their dual motor trucks as of the recording of this video as far as I know, and I don't see official EPA ratings for that just yet. I believe when we have the EPA ratings for the dual motor all-wheel drive Rivian R1T, these numbers will be a little bit more efficient than what I'm going to talk about. But when it comes to the numbers that we have right now from FUELECONOMY.GOV, the quad motor Rivian R1T with a large battery pack has a very similar efficiency to the extended range Ford F-150 Lightning with the dual motors. So at the end of the day, when it comes to the range and efficiency category, the Rivian R1T does offer more range, and I believe when you compare a dual motor all-wheel drive Rivian R1T, which we don't have the official data yet, but we should have that soon, to an apples-to-apples dual motor all-wheel drive F-150 Lightning, I do believe that vehicle will be more efficient. So with that being said, when it comes to range and efficiency, we gave Rivian the win in that category. Now let's move over to the technology and the features built into each one of these trucks. When it comes to interior tech, the Pro and XLT F-150 Lightning variants feature a 12-inch landscape-oriented touchscreen, and the Lariat and Platinum higher trim levels are equipped with a larger, vertically oriented 15.5-inch center display. Do note that all models also include a 12-inch instrument cluster directly in front of the driver. On the flip side, the Rivian R1T offers a 15.6-inch landscape-oriented touchscreen, a 12.3-inch driver's display, and in addition, the R1T features a small 6.8-inch touchscreen for the rear passengers that, from what I can tell, is mostly for controlling the rear HVAC system. Now in a side-by-side comparison, both of these infotainment systems, from what I can tell, are very responsive and very well designed. However, when it comes to the orientation of the upgraded screen for the Ford F-150 Lightning, I'm not a big fan of that vertical orientation. You might be, but personally I prefer the landscape orientation of the Rivian R1T screen. So for that reason, I would personally prefer the Rivian R1T's center touchscreen over the upgraded Ford F-150 vertically oriented touchscreen. Now obviously we've talked about quite a few different features built into each of these trucks, and there are a number of other features built into these trucks, and so I've created a chart to really show you side by side some features that are unique to the Rivian R1T and unique to the F-150 Lightning, and also features that they share in common. For instance, both of these trucks offer all-wheel drive powertrains. However, the Rivian R1T also offers a quad motor powertrain in addition to the dual motor powertrain, and this quad powertrain enables what Rivian refers to as tank turn. Both trucks have power tailgates, whereas the Rivian R1T is the only one of the two trucks with air suspension. 360-degree camera views on the touchscreen, advanced ADAS features, heated seats, heated steering wheels, and ventilated seats. In addition, both trucks have powered front trunks, glass roof options, power adjustable front seats, wireless phone charger options. However, only the F-150 Lightning offers the optional payload scale and the advanced smart trailering features. But unlike the F-150 Lightning, as we mentioned earlier, the R1T offers the gear tunnel and the optional camp kitchen, and the R1T has a built-in air compressor which is not offered in the F-150 Lightning. Both trucks offer AC outlets, as we mentioned. However, you can upgrade to the higher 9.6 kilowatt system for the F-150 Lightning, which includes an additional 240 volt outlet. So going back to those metrics, which of these electric trucks has better features and better technology? Well, this particular category was really close, and it was really difficult to pick a clear winner in this category. I really like the smart trailering and onboard scale features of the F-150 Lightning, and the available 240 volt outlet and the upgraded 9.6 kilowatts of peak power, plus the vehicle-to-home capabilities. However, at the end of the day, the exclusive Rivian R1T features actually fit better into what I would like to get out of a truck. So, in my personal opinion, I went ahead and gave the Rivian R1T the win when it comes to technology and features. However, you may disagree with me, and do let me know in the comments section below in the video if you disagree with me, if you think that the Ford F-150 Lightning should get the win in the technology and feature category. Now moving on to that last category, and that last category is charging speed. Just how do these electric trucks compare when it comes to DC fast charging? According to Ford's official estimates, the standard range F-150 Lightning can go from a 15% to 80% state of charge in around 44 minutes, and the extended range pack can do the same charge in around 41 minutes. If you do the math based on the EPA rated range estimates, the standard range pack is able to add around 3.4 miles of range per minute on average, and the extended range pack during that charging session would add somewhere around 5.1 miles of range per minute of charging. For comparison, according to an Inside EVs article, the Rivian R1T can go from a 20% to 80% state of charge in around 41 minutes. And for the quad motor large pack version of the Rivian R1T with 314 miles of EPA rated range, that equates to around 4.6 miles being added per minute of charging. So as you can see, although this is not a completely apples to apples comparison because we're talking about a 15% to 80% charge for the F-150 Lightning and a 20% to 80% charge for the Rivian R1T, we're also talking about a quad motor Rivian R1T versus a dual motor F-150 Lightning. So not apples to apples, not a direct comparison, but based on what I can tell, if you had these numbers equal, if you had an all-wheel drive dual motor F-150 Lightning and a dual motor all-wheel drive Rivian R1T, and you charge them side by side from 10% to 80%, or from 20% to 80%, for instance, I think the actual miles being added per minute of charging would be very similar. Because, for instance, an all-wheel drive dual motor Rivian R1T is going to have a greater EPA rating miles-wise over the 314 miles the quad motor system gets. So the numbers are going to be a lot closer. So at this time, I went ahead and gave both of these vehicles a point in this category because we really need more information, which we'll get in the future, to have a clear winner when it comes to charging speed. So at the end of the day, when it comes to which truck is better, as you can see, we came up with basically a tie. I believe a case can be made for each of these trucks depending on how you want to use it. In my opinion, if you're looking for the best outdoor adventure truck or daily driver truck, the Rivian R1T would be my choice for that category. However, if you're looking for the best work truck and plan to use this truck for a lot of towing, my choice for that use case would be the F-150 Lightning. Do let me know what you think in the comments section below. Which one of these electric trucks do you like better, and which one would you rather own? Well, thank you so much for watching this video all the way through to the end. I'd like to take a moment to thank the Patreon supporters who support me every month and help make this content possible. A special thank you to my performance supporters and also the other supporters listed on the screen. If you'd like to find out more about the Patreon community I've set up, I'll put a link in the description below. Thank you so much.